All right, and joining the conversation now is Dr. Asaf Romirowsky, the Executive Director of Scholars for Peace in the Middle East, and Lihi Levian Joffee, coordinator at the Israeli Expert and Civil Society Forum on Humanitarian Aid to Gaza. Now, Ms. Levian Joffee, Israel Medical Association has sent out letters asking to ensure basic medical conditions for the Gazan population. Clearly, there's a growing concern also within Israel about the humanitarian situation in Gaza.
Yes, that is something that we see, we know, and we understand. This is something that is also a source of pride, I think, because Israelis, many Israelis are understanding where the moral standards should be, what is the humanitarian aspect that should be taken. And we can't, how can anyone see these pictures of children, of women, of unarmed people, hungry, and with the amount of houses that were ruined and infrastructures that are ruined? How can anyone, I don't know, how can eyes stay dry looking at these pictures?
And Dr. Romirowsky, Israel denying that there's a famine in Gaza, rejecting the claim of these 111 organizations, saying that they're falling into Hamas propaganda. But is it really likely that so many different organizations, so many images are all just lying?
Look, we got to put it into context. I mean, the fact of the matter is that it is true that Hamas has been stealing and abusing the aid. They use all these international organizations as a front to create this reality. And the only people that are suffering as a result of that are the Arab Palestinians, the Palestinian population, as a result of the abuse. The concern is, I mean, this is what we've seen over the past few weeks now with the attacks on the centers, on the safe zones regarding the GHF, is the fact that they're on the ground trying to deliver the aid. They're being attacked. There is hundreds of trucks trying to get into Gaza that are being prevented, and actually the food is going bad as a result of the fact that there's nobody to disseminate the aid. And all of this hinges on really the reality of, again, what will be the day after tomorrow outlook. When it comes to Hamas, as it relates to the conversations, they want to bring back UNRWA, and they want to bring back all these other, UN agencies. UNRWA has been complicit with terrorism, and the problem is that they would like to revert back to that reality, which is why they are attacking the GHF. And in the midst of all of this, the only people that are suffering are their own people. And so that's the catch-22 that's playing out here, and that's exactly what the world is seeing. Right. And Israel, unfortunately, is caught in between all of this.
And I have to ask, though, you're criticizing UNRWA, you're criticizing the UN here and these agencies, but I have to ask, if the argument is to deprive Hamas of economic revenues, of the option to hold control over the population in Gaza, why is Israel not simply just choosing to go the other way and flooding the Strip with aid and food?
I think the problem is that Israel does not want to be in the position of being the governance body. I mean, there's a fundamental question about who is going to govern Gaza in the day after tomorrow. In the GHF reality, the fact of the matter is that Israel has been helping with the safety, with the security, as far as the administrators of the aid itself. Aid should go in. There's a question of who's going to administer and govern this. The problem is that Hamas is the major power, politically and militarily, in the area still. They're the ones who are playing all of this out, while Israel at the same time is trying to advance its military campaign, release the hostages, and in between all of this, ensure the fact that aid is still coming into Gaza. There is no alternative to Hamas at this point within the Gaza infrastructure. The PA really is not really a true alternative. And so this limbo situation is causing this current reality, which is creating these imageries and creating a difficult environment to disentangle, while at the same time, which has been the ongoing objective of the war, disentangle the civilian population from Hamas.
Right. Ms. Levian Joffee, Israel says that there are 700 food trucks ready to be distributed, but a UN bottleneck is preventing it. Why is the food not being distributed if it's there?
So I can only say what I understand is needed to safely distribute food in such a situation, as was now explained very clearly, the chaos and the despair, the utter despair of the people of Gaza after almost 3 months that nothing entered Gaza. And after 3 months, very little amount has entered. If we look back at the time of the ceasefire, the prior ceasefire, when around 600 trucks entered a day, and now we're talking about just dozens of trucks a day, and that enables the pictures that we're seeing. So to get back to actually what you suggested, the solution that we also believe in is the need of an immediate humanitarian ceasefire, and that will enable a mass entry of trucks. Now, Israel is a strong, powerful, intelligent country, and I am sure that there are solutions that include empowering different accredited humanitarian organizations and actors, international and local, that can ensure fair distribution that will not reach Hamas directly. And that is what needs to be done. And that, I think, is also what people of Israel are asking. And if we think about what the doctors just now are speaking about.
All right. And Dr. Romirowsky, I want to go back to a point that you made yourself, that Israel is not interested in taking on the responsibility, taking on the position to be the one responsible for delivering and distributing the aid. That said, though, Israel itself has admitted that it has military control of about 70%, 75% of the Gaza Strip. Does that not make Israel responsible for the population there?
Well, I think that there is a difference between the military aspect and the civilian aspect, and that's been the catch-22 that Israel has been in. I would argue that had Israel left a military presence post disengagement, some of these problems would have been avoided, going back to 2005. The problem is that, again, absent any other power, Israel is going to be in a limbo situation where it's going to be the governing force to administer and to take care of this business. The infrastructure is not set up. Going back to your earlier commentator's point about the fact that there is a plan that was put forth by the United States as far as the involvement of the Arab world, as far as other players, in order to create a better infrastructure that will allow Israel to remove itself, that is yet to happen. And absent that, Israel is going to be in this limbo situation in order to avoid these situations when it comes to aid and medical aid and food and supplies that need to come into the Gaza Strip in order to continue the process to end the war and to create an environment for a day after tomorrow. But because there is no other power, to my earlier point, Israel is stuck in this limbo situation, while at the same time, the difficult tension is the advancement of the military operational objectives, while at the same time trying to create these safe zones and to secure an actual civilian integrity population that will receive the aid it needs.